Hey ladies, welcome back to my channel. Dietitian Teresa here and certified personal trainer. Love sharing videos about women's health and fitness tips. I'm specifically aiming for the women that have these fat loss goals. You might be busy wearing multiple hats in your life. And I just want to make the approach to fat loss a more simple and a more enjoyable process that gets you lifelong results and that you don't feel like you have to give up life in between. So I know how frustrating it can feel when you're juggling family, career, health goals, and the idea of a simple fat loss approach sounds almost too good to be true, right? Trust me, I was a little bit skeptical at first, but after experiencing changes in my own body composition, energy levels, and overall well-being, I've learned that fat loss does not have to be a complicated approach or journey. So, if you want to stay with this video, I'm sharing my fat loss recipe that helped me and hopefully can help you to achieve sustainable results in your fat loss journey. We're basically going to dive into how you can lose fat, build muscle, and feel energized using simple strategies that fit into real life. So, no crazy diets, no starvation, just sustainable habits that actually work when you apply them consistently over time. First, I want to take you through my initial skepticism on approaching this fat loss journey. So, like many of you, I used to think fat loss meant, it's a period of time you go through this restriction of calories, you do up your cardio and say no to social events. But that is so not the case, especially after I researched in my years of experience in helping coach clients with their own health and fitness journeys. The idea of keeping things simple almost felt unrealistic, especially as a busy woman balancing career, family, friends, planning a wedding. It really didn't seem like, oh, it has to be more drastic than that. But when I actually applied it, it changed things. So the turning point for me was I started focusing on nourishing my body, switched my focus from taking away to addition, lifting weights regularly, strength training, progressive overload, and managing stress. And I started seeing real changes, not just on the scale, but in my energy and my confidence and how my clothes fit. And it was just a awesome journey to see what I was capable of doing. So now let's dive into my recipe for fat loss, and it's way simpler than you may think. I found that fat loss really isn't about deprivation or overcomplicating things. It's about building a lifestyle that supports your body. So here's the simple recipe that worked for me and can probably work for you too. First, we have sleep. So quality sleep is the foundation of everything. Why your sleep matters so much is that you can't underestimate the power of good sleep when it comes to fat loss. When you don't sleep enough, your hormones can get out of whack, specifically that cortisol hormone. It's a big buzzword on social media, but it is true. Like when we have inadequate sleep, that just pours right into the stress bucket, which increases our circulating cortisol, overproduction of cortisol in our system. And it can oftentimes make you hungrier, feeling more stressed, and then less likely to stick to your goals because you're ravenous and hungry all the time. How it's hard to make decisions that benefit your health on a daily basis when you're going through that. The other hormone that can be impacting not only cortisol but your hunger hormones, ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone, and then leptin, which is like that hormone that helps you feel satisfied. So ghrelin increases with that inconsistent sleep, lack of sleep, so on and so forth. So that'd be why you're hungrier during that time period. Here's a tip that you could do to improve your sleep. So for me, it meant setting a consistent bedtime routine, cutting back on screens before bed as best as possible, and making my room a peaceful and restful place. So most of the time, like any work on my laptop or even on my phone, like it's not going into the bedroom, like it stays in the office, right? So I'd like to aim for at least 7 to 8 hours. I'm going to be real, like that was not perfect throughout the journey, like when I did my fat loss journey, and still life hits you with different things. So, but you want to focus on more often than not getting that 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And you could probably feel a difference when you do it consistently. Second part of the recipe would be stress management. So stress management is really tied in with, you know, the cortisol, the emotional eating factor, how stress and fat loss kind of work against each other. So we're never gonna get rid of stress in life. Don't get me wrong. Like, we're always gonna have stress. Some stress is actually good for our bodies, okay? We know how to cope with it. But stress can really impact your fat loss efforts. When we're stressed, we often turn to food for comfort, or we don't move our bodies as much. And again, it really can produce extra circulating cortisol or stress hormone that encourages fat storage. So if you see it in like your midsection area where that fat storage is increasing, might be due to higher circulating cortisol levels. So some simple stress management techniques to help combat that. What I learned was keeping it super simple. I don't need this huge routine every day for stress management. It's just those little things every single day that add up over time. So like a short walk, even if I could get out for 5 minutes. Deep breaths. So taking 3 deep breaths, like when I'm feeling that overwhelm or like there's a lot on my plate, it's like taking 3 deep breaths. Okay, let's come back to earth here. And that really helped too. And even just taking 10 minutes of quiet time to myself, it could be more, but in the mornings, like just having that quiet time to get my mind straight and ready, like that was a huge difference. These small changes add up over time, and not only how I impacted how I felt emotionally, but also in my body's ability to just let go of fat in different places throughout the journey. All right, so third tip here would definitely be on fueling your body. And then we pair that with mindful eating. So I like to focus on where intention with like even I'm a fan of macros in the beginning and then knowing and educating yourself and then pairing that with intuition. So intuition and intentionality have to meet. We have to be in this messy middle or this gray area in order for sustainable change to happen. So I like to focus more so on eat more and not less. One of the biggest mindset shifts I had was realizing that I really did not have to give up foods. I just had to eat more nutrient dense foods. So focusing on lean proteins, increasing non-starchy veggies, added whole grains in there, and for that extra fiber. And then also like with your fruits, like low glycemic fruits, those have more fiber per serving as well. And then also your healthy fat sources. Where this mindful eating comes into play, I also started using mindfulness techniques to stay connected with my body. Things like eating without distractions, paying attention to hunger and fullness cues. That scale 1 to 10. 1 means you're hangry, 10 means you're overly painfully stuffed. So following that, we want to be more so around that 6 level, feeling satisfied after we eat our meal. And then you learn. Everybody's going to be different. So that's really helped me enjoy my food so much more and avoid that mindless snacking and really helped with the emotional eating part as well. So an example meal, like let's say a burrito bowl. I love homemade burrito bowls. They're easy. You can whip them together. But it would have been a change where if I would be in like I'm fueling my body with extra food for a purpose, I would maybe take that. So like if you had 4 or 5 ounces of chicken breast, cooked chicken breast in there, and then shredded chicken, 4 to 5 ounces of shredded chicken in your bowl. Then if you used to do like 1 to 2 cups of rice, we're gonna knock that down to maybe 3/4 cup of cooked rice and then volumize it with veggies. So peppers, the lettuce, the tomatoes, things like that. To volumize it, at least like 2 fistfuls of that in your burrito bowl. So you get the volume, but you get less calories in that meal and you also get more fiber. So you're going to be satisfied for longer. And it's not always about like what's the lowest calorie option, but there is a strategic method to help keep you full, which is add the fiber filling factors like non-starchy veggies, and low glycemic fruits to your meals that will keep you fuller for longer. So that's simple, satisfying, and nutrient packed. Next part of the recipe is strength training and increasing your movement throughout the day. So, why strength training is such a key part in your fat loss journey. This is game changer. Not only is it about burning calories, but when you strength train, you burn calories in the workout and then you burn throughout the day versus a cardio workout where, yeah, you might burn 500 to 600 calories if you're busting your butt on the treadmill or something in that time, but it doesn't necessarily go on throughout the day, that calorie burn. So we want to find a really good mix of both, like mixing the cardio and the strength training, but strength training is the primary focus. We want to focus on building lean muscle tissue that helps boost your metabolism and gives you that strong look that you want, right? Like the toned look, the lean look. So my training routine really was very simple, 3 to 4 times a week. I was not changing my workouts week to week. I was sticking with the same workout, upper lower split, and then focusing on my compound movements like your squats, deadlifts, and lunges. And not forgetting movement outside of the gym was super important too. So I started increasing my daily step count. I was at an average of 9 to 10,000. So then I went for 11 to 12,000 because that's where I started. But for you, if you're starting at only an average of 5,000 steps a day, go for like 6 to 7,000 and then bump it up. Get in that 10 to 12,000 sweet spot. Is it a magic number? No, but it's just enough that gets your body up there moving around, and can really help make fat loss feel less daunting. And it's a slow burn effect. Another thing you could do with the adding the cardio in, you could do one jog a week, a 20-minute jog, or you could do 2 to 3 incline walks for 30 minutes throughout the week. It can be effective that way too. So for if you're busy, do not worry. You can get effective strength training workouts in 20 to 30 minutes. Seriously. I don't have any fitness content on here yet with workouts and stuff, but I would really encourage you to use your resources wisely right now. 20 to 30 minutes, full body strength. If you're working out 3 times a week, find 3 workouts you can do, dumbbells just in or using things at home to increase that resistance. And we want to keep it simple week to week. Write down your progress throughout it. So how many reps, how much weight, rest time, things like that. So you can keep progress throughout your journey and how you're improving. Last tip here is definitely going to be your mindset. Now, this is a longer term thing. Fat loss is not this, oh, in a month I lose 5 to 10% body fat. Probably not going to be sustainable. It could happen, but that is hard to sustain and probably isn't really great for your metabolic health in the long run. So I like to really encourage clients to think long term, and that's what I had to keep telling myself too in my own journey. I dedicated 3 months because I wasn't on any drastic change, but I just wanted to see what I could do. A 12-week period of a fat loss phase because I was building up. I was building before that. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to challenge myself and see what I can do. One of the most important things is that quick results will not last you a lifetime. So you want to set yourself up seriously. Think of your why. You have to have a strong why as to why you're doing this journey because 12 weeks can get long. And when you hit I hit 7 or 8 weeks, I'm like, gosh, I'm not noticing the changes I need to. It wasn't going to throw in the towel. It's just make a tweak here, make a tweak here, and it worked. So you have to be adaptable along the journey as well. I shifted my mindset to think about how I wanted to feel in the future for sure too. More energy, more confidence, feeling better in my clothing, but also having this clarity within myself because I could do it myself, this journey, and stick to it and stay consistent. This really fell into the bucket of how I showed up or in social events, how I showed up around my family. And that's super important to me to be able to be in a mindset in my own brain to then therefore let that and my energy and how I feel about myself radiate. So that's super important. And it's not just about surviving this life, it's about thriving in it. So that's another thing too. So my final thoughts here and wrapping this video up, fat loss can be simple when you focus on what matters and you stay consistent. if you've been feeling stuck or overwhelmed with your fat loss journey, I want you to know that it is totally possible and it can be simple for you. Focus on quality sleep, managing stress, nourishing your body, lifting weights and progressive overload, and adopting that long-term mindset. You can really, really see those long-lasting results. If you don't know where to start, take an inventory of your life. Where's the biggest area health bucket you're struggling in? Sleep, stress, food, like consistency in workouts, your mindset with yourself. I always recommend start with your mindset because that's going to take you farther when you have a really strong why in the journey. So if this video resonated with you, I want you to take what you need, leave what you don't. You can subscribe, like the video, or comment below. I really appreciate your support and stay strong, stay nourished, and I will see you in the next one.